The Chicago Yacht Club's Race to Mackinac is a 280-mile sprint at the top of Lake Michigan, the biggest event of the summer. And usually it's impossible to find a ride. But luckily, someone set me up on a blind date of sorts. And with just the two of us on the smallest boat in the fleet, we set out on a breezy July morning to win the race's four-boat double-handed division.
Coming along the edge of Navy Pier now is Seahorse. Seahorse is a Beneteau First 27. Boat's based on the Mini Transat 650 class made for single-handed transatlantic race. The designer of the Seascape 27 is Samuel Munhard, one of the most successful designers in that class. This boat has been entering the race by Dave Reed and Andraz, Mihelin.
Like the guy said, my teammate for this venture is Andraz Mihelin. He's a Slovenian sailing superstar who's crazy and talented enough to twice race across the Atlantic in a 21-foot boat. He and his buddy started the whole Seascape brand, which is now under the Beneteau umbrella. This borrowed 27-footer we're on is a popular design for short-handed racing, especially in Europe. With it, he's won the Mac Race's double-handed division a few years ago. We've only known each other for 48 hours, and this is my first double-handed race, so it's a good thing he knows the stuff.
So, we had a pretty good start, I think, and we are now trying to play the shifts on the upwind part of the race at the start. So the J88s, we're just going on one tack. We are tacking left when we see the shift, so we see how that's going to play out. And the other 27 is probably a mile behind, which is good for the start. So now we're waiting for the evening and the transition to the easterly winds, and we'll see what that brings. But so far so good.
The amazing thing about double-handed racing is that when you're on watch, it's like solo sailing. Put the autopilot on and work on making the boat go faster. Here's Mihelin on the first morning setting up the storm staysail. He's not getting ready for a storm though. Pretty sure he just wants to use every sail we have.
You happy with the setup?
Sort of. So it has a very full head because it's not a real coat, and try to put the Jeep back up, and the wind is dropping, so I wouldn't think it's going to be too much drag.
Winds 5 to 10 knots becoming west. Waves 1 to 2 feet.
We had a nice relaxing morning, meeting with the flies, sharing our food, our blood, and now we are hopefully in the stable thermal breeze, which should carry us a little bit north until the evening, when there is another transition zone to the southwesterlies, propelled by the high pressure system. on the east of the lake, west of the lake. We don't know where half of our competition is, so the Jays are in stealth mode, while Nemo should be about like 8 miles to the west. So far so good as far as we know. We don't know all.
By the end of our second day on the race course, we're in a relaxing kind of rhythm of naps and snacking, storytelling, and trying different sail combinations to stave off the boredom. For two guys who had never met, it kind of feels as though we've known each other a lot longer. And as the sun sets behind a veil of forest fire smoke from somewhere in Canada, Mihelin fires up the brand new Jetboil stove that was required equipment. And within minutes, we're dining from our cups, swapping more stories of races we've done, and our families and our work. There's an intimacy in double-handed sailing, something you don't find on fully crewed race boats. Behold, the most depressing, but most exhilarating moment of the race. Somewhere near Michigan's Big Sable Dunes, the wind evaporated completely after sunset. We'd been warned about being too close to the shore at this time of day, but when it was looking really bad, a puff appeared out of nowhere, allowing us to drift away from the coast before the ripples disappeared in our wake. Sunrise on our final morning. We were drifting, and the race tracker told us we were last, but we waited patiently for a dark line of wind teasing us from the north, and when it finally touched our sails hours later, we were able to set the spinnaker for the first time. And as the breeze built throughout the day, we traded turns on the tiller, beating each other's top speeds. Those there are the lights of the Mackinac Bridge. Ripping toward the finish in 20 knots with a big masthead spinnaker flicking was an experience I'll never forget. Mihelin let me drive into the darkness to enjoy the best sailing of the race, and that's exactly what a good mate would do.